Oh my God, I am alive. Yes, I am alive. Streaming? Okay. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Course CPI, the 10-minute trade room. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director for 10-minute trades. Please remember all trades we discuss are for educational purposes. It's possible to lose money trading futures. Um, Chantal, I had a very, very strange night. I'm sorry. I didn't get to my message this morning. There should have been, I got an email. The email was very late. We're doing them at the last second. So, good morning, everyone. Is that what you were worried about? Seriously, it's okay. Yeah, I'm in. So, I want to welcome everybody. I had the strangest night. I don't know if this has ever happened to you. I usually do not sleep really well. I don't sleep a deep sleep at all. Well, I slept so soundly and dreaming like crazy, crazy dreams. I mean, crazy, crazy dreams. And when I woke up, I thought it was Sunday. I was just like lollygagging around in bed. And then I realized, oh my God, it's Tuesday. I better get up. I gotta go to work. Very strange night for me. All right, let's talk about CPI. Oh, um, Chantal, I don't remember that, but for now, send your alert whenever you're ready to send them. And don't wait for the email right now. Don't wait for the email because otherwise, I think they'll be a little bit too late. All right, everybody. So let's talk about this report. There's no doubt that this is a big report. Now, because we have multiple setups, I can't really spend time dealing with the gold open because this report is one of the main reasons we're here. The gold open, if we didn't have a little bit of a complicated setup today, then maybe I'd be interested in looking at gold this morning. But we have to deal with what we have to deal with. So CPI has been working with the NQ. This NQ setup, we've tweaked it though, because it did stop out. It may have been PPI that stopped last month. Um, CPI was, let me look at March 10th. So this is actually the trade right here. I think it was a winner. Let me load it differently. Yeah, I want to load it differently. Hang on one second. So March CPI, okay, this was March CPI, NQ on the left. We were watching gold on the right. So NQ had a nice trade, CPI. Okay. NQ had a nice trade. And then gold, I was looking for a possible reversal, but you know what? We're really not spending time. We didn't test gold for this trade today because gold hasn't been behaving well on many breakout reports. We're trying to use different indexes that are giving us, a better possibility for profits. That's what we're trying to do. So the range trade using the NQ has been working. Okay, it has been working. Here's the dilemma. We've been looking at the ES. The range trade on the ES is tests the best, maybe better than any range trade, any trade I've ever tested. It's been fantastic. It's been absolutely fantastic, testing incredibly well. This is a very volatile report today. It's definitely a volatile report. The market is looking at it. A lot of eyes are on this report. The worry is that it's going to be bad news, that there's going to be quite a bit of inflation. Now, if you look at India's price index, it was up 695 versus 635. I suppose it could have been worse. I'm going to keep my news off to the side because I need the charts. So I need the charts. So the NQ has been working pretty much on a regular basis on this report. If you look at February, I believe the NQ worked in February. Let's find out. Now, these range trades are new, relatively new, 2, 3 months live. And they've been working pretty nicely in these markets. Try to break out on the ES, and that worked. And then the NQ range also worked. Okay. The NQ range worked very nicely. So here's what I'm going to do. ES on one side, NQ on the other. So we're using a range. The concept of the range that we're using is it avoids the whipsaw at the exact moment of the news. Okay, so the NQ setup, let's look at one more NQ. Let's look at January. I think in January, we were trading it differently. We weren't trading the same way. We went to these new setups. Yeah, we were trading the breakout in January. In January, the breakout worked fine, and the range would have worked. Well, it's a very interesting question here. In January, the breakout worked. We know the breakouts are inconsistent. I'm just looking to see what time the down move ended. So it ended at 04. And our range starts 06, ends at 06. So here's the setup on the NQ. We tweaked it pretty much just a second on the range, a little tweak on the range. So if you're trading a range, click on the strategy. All right, so I think I was also testing ES tests as well. So we've got 10 ticks above the range, 10 ticks below the range on the NQ. 10 ticks above, 10 ticks below. Show the range, graphic shown on chart. Show the range, graphic shown on chart. Okay, we don't use the look back. It doesn't matter. We're using a range start time, 8:29:59. 8:29:59. 8:29:59. That's our range start time. And I'm going to use a target of 20 and a target of 70 and a stop of 50. Okay. 50, actually, we're going to use a stop of 55, like it says on the DMM. It's a big stop. So I've got one target of 20, one target of 70, and a stop of 55. And our entry time, so we're starting the range at 8:29:59, and we're ending the range at 8:30:06. Don't forget to choose range trade, and then make your decision whether you're trading with a real account or not a real account. Ten ticks above, 10 ticks below. My range starts at 8:29:59. Targets of 20 and 70. Stop 55. Range ends at 8:30:06. 8:30:06. And that's my first setup. So that's my NQ setup. Okay. The ES had really tested well. It tested incredible. Let me just show you. I hope I may not have the right video. Good, it is. Okay, this was the ES in March. Same range and a very nice move. Bingo. And then another month, February. So this is February. Yes. All right. Yes. Nice. Looks nice. Hits the first target. I was managing the second target, and then it hits it. And January, it also worked. So I'd like to set up an ES range, and the ES is 3 ticks above and below the range. And the graphic shown on chart and the range start time 8:29:59. And since we never traded it before, one target, and I'm going to look for 19 ticks, and the stop is 12 ticks. I'm going to go 15 this morning. Stop is 15. And then our range entry time is 8:30:06. 8:30:06. It's also a range trade, but just trading one contract on the ES to see if it works. 3 ticks above and below the range. Graphic shown on chart. Start time is 8:29:59. One target for 19 ticks. The range end time is 8:30:06. Choose range trade. And then I'll label the strategy. Yes. So I'm tempted to put an extra contract on the NQ because it's trading well. But I'm thinking because I'm putting extra risk on with the ES, I'm going to let it play out the way I'm doing it. Markets are somewhat up this morning. This news, there's no way to know how the market's going to respond to this news. The NQ, one more time on the setup, 10 ticks above and below the range. Graphic shown on chart. Start the range 8:29:59. One target for 20, one target for 70, 50 tick stop, 55. The range activation time is 8:30:06, and it is a range trade. So that's the NQ. And then one more time on the ES. Three ticks above and below the range. Graphic shown on chart. One target for 19 ticks, a stop of 15. The range 8:30:06. We start the range 829.59. We end the range 830.06. The trade type is a range trade. That's what allows us to use the ranges. And then I'm watching the news off to the side. Let's check our time sync. We go to the website time.is to check our time sync. Okay. So does everybody understand what's going on? I feel that if you want to just choose one or the other, I personally think I like the ES better, but we haven't traded it live. That's based on testing. But the NQ, excuse me, has been working. Okay. Just the NQ as an index is definitely more whippy. It's just a fact of life with the NQ. We're going to stay in the room for the oil open and the NQ open. So on YouTube, if some of you folks in there give us a like, hit the like button, sign up for our channel, and then hit the notification bell so you know the next time we're streaming, right? You'll know the next time we're streaming. We stream almost every day. So the idea, if you watch the previous report, right? If we watch the previous report, the idea is we want the initial reaction to take place. And then we're going to enter in what we're planning on as a direction that takes place after the initial reaction. Okay. So that shows the concept. At 8:30, there's an initial reaction. We're not trading that. Normally we do. But some of these reactions have been so difficult to trade. So we're trading it after that initial reaction. Any questions? Everybody's good? Today's a little bit of a strange week. Definitely a little bit of a strange week. Schedule-wise, there's no Friday. Markets are closed. Good Friday. So a little bit of news is being squeezed in during the week. The University of Michigan is never on a Thursday. It's on Thursday. I don't think can ever remember it being on a Thursday, except maybe last year on Good Friday. Nope. Last year, for some reason, they had major reports on Good Friday last year. So everybody is worried. Everybody's definitely worried about this report. There's no doubt. Everybody's very upset about inflation. Everybody always wants to blame, blame, blame. Inflation doesn't happen because of one thing. It's a myriad of events that take place to create inflation. So we got about 4 minutes to go. Who's trading? Anybody trading with me? Or is everybody, what's everybody doing out there? Anybody trading? Chantal, what are you doing? MES, Langford. Langford, I never know what you're trading, but usually you're out there trading. NQ? Okay. Anybody else out there? Checking my sync again. Why? I don't know. Because I'm nuts. So they're expecting CPI to be 6.6 year over year. That's an important number. Month over month, 0.5. If the numbers are smaller, it'll push the market up. Most probably. If the numbers are lousy, it'll probably push the market down. That's what I would think. So, it's interesting. It's always interesting to not trade at the exact instant. There's a part of me that when the markets have been so volatile, there's a part of me that likes using the range. So we'll see. Waiting with one more minute to go. Just watching. 15 seconds. All right. So the news comes out. You get the range. It's a big range. Okay. It's okay. I'm trying to do something crazy, which I probably shouldn't have done. So it looks like one was stopped and one was not. I tried to grab a profit on the ES. So it looks like my NQ, yeah, my NQ was stopped partially and my ES worked. Okay. My ES worked, my NQ was partially stopped. So the NQ hit my first target. and then it reversed, and then it changed direction, which you probably couldn't even see with the naked eye. The ES, I was just trying to move my stop to break even, and that's why I kind of got an error on the screen. So ES worked for 237, one position. NQ worked on the first target. Got to look at the video to see exactly what happened on the NQ. You can see the long entry, target one was hit, and then it stopped. So it caused a $190 loss on the NQ, but a $237 winner on the ES. So just a small winner because of the ES. So here's what we could have done. I thought of it at the last second, but didn't do it. Probably should have stopped to break even minus 10 on the NQ. If that had been automated, it might have prevented the NQ from creating that loss. That's something I'll definitely notate and do. If I trade two setups at the same time, I thought of it. I thought that the NQ would really just burst in one direction. I really thought it would just burst in one direction. That's the truth. I didn't think it would do what it did today. I didn't think it would hit one target and then pull back. Did not expect that. But the market constantly does what we don't expect. It looks like a breakout. Let's look at the video. It looks like a breakout would have worked today. But let's see. Sometimes you also cannot tell depending upon trading live with the NQ. There's so much volatility in the NQ. You can't always tell if a breakout will work from the analysis. Sometimes you have to trade it live. So tell me what happened to anybody. If you traded, what happened? Now, the news was better than expected. The news was better, slightly better than expected. The core, okay? And then the year over year was a tiny bit worse. The news was a tiny bit mixed, but not as bad as I think people were expecting. Definitely not as bad as people were expecting. So the NQ got whipped on one contract, Fred, but I'm thinking because your target was too big. What was your target? Because my first target was hit. I had a 20 tick first target. Yeah, it was the 41 ticks, Fred, that caused the problem. But I don't think that was a bad way to trade it. I don't think that was a bad way to trade it. 41 ticks on one contract. It just pulled back before it kept going up. That's the problem with the NQ. Given the way the ES traded this morning, even though the NQ, I may go with the ES going forward on this report and PPI if it does the same thing, because the ES is more stable in these markets. It's definitely less whippy. It's definitely less whippy. And that's why I felt it was important to trade it live, even though I only went one target, and it could have been double the target also. Probably could have used a 30 tick target at least on the ES. So here's what we should have done. At least let's make a learnable lesson how to protect ourselves going forward. What we should have done is with the strategy on the NQ, I believe that what might have protected us, and the downside of doing this is sometimes it'll pull back, hit your stop, and then keep going. Or sometimes, forgive me, it'll pull back, hit your moved stop. your moved stop and then keep going. In other words, it won't fully stop you out and you'll miss out on a giant trade. I thought there might be a possibility of a giant trade. But what you can do to protect yourself just going forward, target one stop move. If you make that break even minus 10, after target one is hit for 20 ticks, it'll we would have been stopped out at break even minus 10. You would have had roughly 10 ticks of profit. So I think the problem today was it didn't go in totally in one direction. It just didn't go totally in one direction. Chantal, what do you mean? I don't know what you mean. Let's take a look at the video. I don't know where my videos are being saved. This is such a pain. Hang on. So this is CPI. I have to find this. Bear with me, folks. Today is the 12th, so give me a second. And I'll find my video. Yeah, they're going in the wrong place. Okay, so let's look at the video. I'm positive that what happened, we know what happened. I used a 55, Chantal. I used a 55. So it wasn't the stop that was the problem. I don't think it was the stop that was the problem. Okay. And that's okay. It's hard, and I know it's hard to evaluate sometimes. Excuse me. So here's the report. Here's the NQ on the left. So it fills, right? So it was a very good range. Today, a breakout would have worked. You can't torture yourself over the fact that a breakout would have worked because they have been stopping us out previously. So you can't get upset about that. So it hits the first target and then it pulled back all the way to the stop. I was trying to move my ES stop. That's why I got the error. And it nothing changed. It hit my target and then the ES kept going. Let's look at the ES. So the ES gave me 19 ticks. It gave me 19 ticks. I had a 15 tick stop. It never it did challenge the stop, but not closely. The stop was perfect. 15 was perfect on the ES. I would definitely trade ES going forward on this report. It just appears to behave better. Even though this is the first live trade we've done on it, our testing backs up the behavior. The testing backs up the behavior. So that's what I would do. It just worked more smoothly. I would not automatically go back to the breakout just because the breakout worked today. It may not work over and over and over. Gold, which we used to trade on this report, also looked good today. but you just don't know. You don't know in advance that that's what's going to happen. There's no way to know. We know that gold became untradeable on this report, so um, you can't beat yourself up over the fact that maybe you didn't trade gold today. Okay, you just can't. Now, I want to thank everybody. YouTube, you should join our trade rooms. You could learn how to do this, make some money. You can join our trade room, www.jointhetraderoom.com, for $97 a month. It won't be delayed, and you can come and join us in our trade room for a month. 97 bucks. It's a steal. So on your way out, give us a like. Write down www.jointhetraderoom.com. Come join us, and you'll know the next time we're streaming. So I'll see everybody on YouTube. For the rest of us,